after King Louis IX of France announced he was going to lead another crusade, Lord Edward Longshanks, son of King Henry III and heir to the English throne, announced that he too would be going on the crusade to help recapture Jerusalem from the infidels once again. But Jerusalem is so far away, and it's so fucking hot there.
Don't care. If those French pussies can do it, then so can I.
And lo, in June in the year of our Lord 1268, Lord Edward and his brother Edmund held a big gaudy ceremony and took the cross and vowed to go on the 8th Crusade. But the brothers were strapped for cash and couldn't afford to go crusading. So St. Louis stepped in and loaned them $70,000 to make sure they kept their vow.
Ah, come on, you cheapskates. Help a brother out, man. Daddy's fault and all that.
Eddie and his English Crusaders were ready to rock by early summer in 1270. But Eddie's dad, King Henry III, kept dithering about whether or not to join his sons on the crusade, and delayed their departure until August, when he finally made the decision to just stay home.
Ah, bloody hell, Pops. You gotta shite or get off the bleeding pot.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm still the bloody king around here, sonny boy. Eddie and the Crusaders began marching through France, taking their sweet time to do some sightseeing and admire the storybook country villages, fashionable seaside resorts, and of course Paris, the elegant city of light, as they headed south to meet up with St. Louis' army. But when they finally arrived at port in September, they found the French Crusaders had already left weeks ago.
What? They all left already? What a bunch of French flat leavers.
I told him he was taking too much time lunching in Lyon.
And yet you had to have dessert.
Eddie then sailed over to Sardinia, where he found out that St. Louis had made a change of plans and went to Tunis instead of Egypt. So Eddie and the Crusaders then hung out in Sardinia for a while and enjoyed the fine Italian cuisine and the Italian chicks with big boobies, as they decided whether to go to Tunis or Egypt as originally planned.
I can never have too much spaghetti.
That's funny. I feel the exact same way about Italian girls with big tits. I can't get enough.
After eating too much Italian food and having lots of sex with Italian ladies, Eddie decided to join St. Louis in Tunis. Eddie and the Crusaders arrived in Tunis in November 1270, but found they were too late once again, because St. Louis had died and his brother, Charles I of Anjou, signed a peace treaty with the Bey of Tunis that ended the 8th Crusade. And we can't kill any infidels because they already signed the peace treaty, see?
Well then, what's the bloody point of crusading if you can't kill any infidels?
That's right. Eddie and the Crusaders followed Charles I back to his kingdom in Sicily to chill and plan what's next. But they soon got bored just sitting around and were pissed about missing out on the crusade. So Eddie and his brother Edmund then decided they were going to go to the Holy Land and retake Jerusalem from the infidels. And lo, the 9th Crusade began. A big planetary marathon is on the telly. Shall we watch that, Eddie?
God, I'm so bored. I want some bloody action. Let's go bloody crusading.
Acre was under siege by Sultan Baybars and his Mameluke maniacs when Eddie and the Crusaders arrived in May 1271. But luckily for Eddie, Baybars thought they were the first wave of a Crusader assault against him, so he pulled his troops back and abandoned the siege to avoid being surrounded.
See, Malabim, it's the lousy, tipping, drunk and disorderly Brits. Head for the hills.
Eddie realized his army was way too small to fight the Mamelukes head to head. So he led his troops on a series of raids on small local villages and killed some infidels, burned some crops, and did a little raping and pillaging before running back to Acre to dodge any counterattack. So
Don't care. I would not like knuckle sandwich very much. Ow!
Crusader reinforcements came to Acre in late summer when some English stragglers, some troops from Cyprus led by Hugh III, and a bunch of knights from the military orders showed up and were ready to fight for Christianity. So Eddie led them on an attack on the large Muslim city of Kwakun.
Oi! It's Harry! What took you so long to get here, you bastard?
Radio! You know how hard it is to find Bass out in this, I know! The attack on Kwakun was a big success, and the Crusaders killed the entire garrison of 1,500 or so Turk mercenaries that were defending it, and stole all their livestock, their weed stash, and their dirty magazines, then hightailed it out of there before Baybars and the Mamelukes could retaliate.
Hey! Watch that sword, you dirty Frank!
Right. We're supposed to steal the sheep or not fuck them.
You do it your way, and I'll do it my way. So piss off, cub.
Luck was on the Crusaders' side again, because Baybars was busy in Aleppo, with his main army guarding his turf against a Mongol attack. Eddie saw a window of opportunity, and quickly formed an alliance with the Mongols, and they began planning an all-out assault against the Mamelukes.
Oi, what's it like being the leader of a Mongol horde?
You know, it has its pros and cons. But Mongols being Mongols, they never faced Baybar's troops head-on, and instead just tore through town after town, killed everyone they could, and stole all their shit, then kept on riding all the way to their home base in Persia, to divvy up the loot and admire their ill-begotten booty.
Hi, we collecting donations for Mongol Horde. Please give.
Your donations are tax deductible, so please donate.
Baybars was extremely pissed that the Crusaders and the Mongols were ganging up on him, so he abandoned his siege of Tripoli and headed south to put Acre under siege once again in December 1271. Baybars wanted to stick it to the Crusaders by attacking their capital city, but Acre was well fortified and defended, so Baybars quit and went home.
Now that the siege has ended, you need to finish the mandatory discriminatory harassment training.
I swear to God, HR people are worse than the infidels.
The Mamelukes then launched a naval assault on Cyprus in an attempt to cut off supplies going to Acre and weaken the city. But the Mamelukes were a bunch of desert rats and sucked at naval battle. The inept Mameluke sailors couldn't navigate Cyprus's rocky coastline and wrecked most of the ships, and the rest were driven off by tough Italian merchants.
I never even put my captain's license.
We go home to get dry socks. But when we get back, you will be in big trouble then.
Eddie knew he would never be able to muster the troops needed to retake Jerusalem, because the majority of fighting in the Holy Land was amongst the Outremer family factions that hated each other with a passion and caused bitter rivalries for control of what little Latin turf was left. You wanna be king? Here, let me crown you, you stupid dumbass!
I'm glad you finally recognized that I deserve to be king and
Making matters worse for the Crusaders, the Venetians and the Genoese in Acre were fighting and killing each other for control of the thriving slave trade. On top of that, both groups of Italians were selling the materials needed by the Crusaders to build siege equipment to the Mamelukes, so they could build siege equipment to attack the Crusaders.
If I pay all cash for new slave girls, you'll give me a discount?
when we do a business in a Venice, a bad news for somebody else usually mean a good news for us. Yeah.
I used to know a streetwalker in Venice, but she drowned.
Eddie realized his crusade was a lost cause and decided that retaking Jerusalem would have to be put on hold for now. So he and Hugh III of Cyprus met with Baybars to formally end hostilities between the Christians and the Muslims, to give the beleaguered Latins some peace for a little while.
Please for to be accepting this grave case as a peace offering.
There'll be no peace in me bowels after eating that stuff, buddy.
Boy, that's a big turban you got there.
Baybars was more concerned with the Mongol threat to his Mamluk Empire, so he agreed to a truce with the Latins and signed a treaty in May 1272 that guaranteed peace between the Mamluks and the Christians in Outremer for 10 years, 10 months, 10 days, and 10 minutes.
Well, it was a hard-fought peace, but well worth it.
Fighting for peace is just for to being like scoring for virginity.
And lo, the Ninth Crusade was over, and his brother Edmund declared the mission a success and bolted for England with the majority of the English Crusaders. But Eddie stayed behind with a few hundred of his most savage, limey knights to make sure that no good lying sack of shit Baybars kept his word and left the Latins alone. Well, we did all Christian duty. Now let's get back home and raise some English birds. While hanging out in Acre, an assassin snuck into Eddie's room one night and tried to kill him with a poisoned dagger. But Eddie was tough and fought the assassin off and killed him. Eddie received a stab wound to his arm that got all nasty and infected due to the poison, but he eventually recovered.
You can't kill me, you yob! I'm the bloody King of England!
But if I don't kill you, they kick me out of my assassin group.
Eddie left the Holy Land in September in the year of our Lord 1272 and sailed to Sicily to hang out and enjoy the scrumptious Italian delicacies and the Italian girls with big Italian tits. Eddie was just chilling in Sicily when he got the news that his father had died, so he packed up his shit and hurried home to become the new King of England.
Don't leave. Take me to England and make me your wife.
Wife?
No thanks. I got one of those already, and that's quite enough.
And now that the dust has settled, let's take a look at the big board of death and get ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr.'s take on the debacle known as the Ninth Crusade.
Those estimates are based on the historical fact that most people of that era were savage lunatics blinded by religious fear that thoroughly enjoyed killing people just for fun.
And despite using high picks on defense in recent drafts, the Crusaders' depth on the edge has got to be better. I thought that Eddie Longshanks, who had 3.5 sacks early on, was a stellar fit for the Crusaders and could turn the Ninth Crusade into the steal of the draft. Taking the Mongols in the later rounds seemed like a desperation move to me and gets the Crusaders no closer to a championship. After returning home, Eddie got a letter of apology from the Mongols for flaking out on their alliance and promised to provide Eddie with 100,000 angry Mongol troops if he returned to the Holy Land and wanted to try and kick Babar's ass once again. But Eddie was a real king now and had no interest in that shit anymore. And lo, the era of the Great Crusades that raged on for centuries was over and done.
Well, that really fucking sucked. Thanks for nothing, God.
Really? You're gonna blame God for all your own shortcomings?
Shut the fuck up and keep walking, okay, horse?
Well now, that was pretty crazy, right? Thousands of Christian crusaders sailing to the Holy Land to fight the infidels in order to hold on to the little bit of property still under Christian control, while trying to control the few Christians left and stop them from trying to kill each other. Honestly, what could possibly go wrong? Anyhow, hope you enjoyed Holy Crap, the Ninth Crusade.
And that, as they say, is that.